Hey everybody! Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing Tuesday evening. It's Dr. Nicole. Follow us on Facebook. You want to friend us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Ask Dr. Nicole. If you do not know our social media connections so far, hi Maisha. It's Ask Dr. Nicole on everything, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that stuff. I have been a master coach for a very long time. Don't tell anybody, but I've been doing this for about 15 years, successful in business and in life. And I want to do my best to try to align with you to help you get behind the driver's seat of your lives and what you're doing and be as successful as you can be. So again, if you have not joined our Facebook group, you definitely want to do that. Live Like You Matter Facebook group. If you are a woman out there doing amazing things and you want to be with a community of women that are doing amazing things, you want to come and join us so that you can come hang out with us and see what we're doing. If you have not followed us on Twitter, you want to follow us at Ask Dr. Nicole. If you have not friended us on Facebook, you want to friend us on Ask Dr. Nicole, so you get the gist. But it's been a minute, you guys. I have not seen you guys in about 2 weeks. Last time we talked, we were still ramping up, getting ready for elections and all that good stuff, and now we're here. So hopefully you are finishing with putting the kids to bed and doing all the stuff that needs to be done so that you can come and hang out for a little while, but we won't be too long. So tonight we are going to talk about embracing life's invitation to grow. I thought that was a very nice title for our talk this evening. Every day we are all being positioned and asked to grow, whether we know it or not. And something that I say all the time, whether you agree or not, I think it's true. You are either growing or you are dying, right? Because you cannot be a living, breathing, amazing, wonderful, dynamic human being and stay in the same spot forever. You have to evolve, you have to grow. So one of the things that is really critical is you've got to know when those invitations come knocking and know what they look like so that you can embrace them and not reject them. Because naturally so much of what we're doing is about choice, and so much of what we're doing is about being empowered to make the choices that are going to be best for us, in most instances that are going to be best for our growth. So how do you know when an invitation to embrace your growth has come and knocked on your door? So here's the thing. I believe that there are some things that will clearly tell us that an invitation is knocking, and then it's up to us to figure out if that's what's really happening so we know how to respond. The first thing is if an invitation to apologize arrives. An invitation to apologize. So you know how you go through life and you're doing your thing and something happens and you get an invitation to say, wow, I was wrong about that. I'm sorry. I should have made a different choice, and I see that hurt you. That was not my intention, but I take total responsibility for how that's affecting you, how that is making you feel, for what that may be doing to our relationship, for what that may mean as far as the goal that we had, whether this is in a business relationship or in a personal relationship. It's that opportunity to take responsibility that things may not have gone as planned or just may not have gone in a favorable way to the people that are with you in that journey. And being able to stop and say, I dropped the ball, I missed it, I apologize. And I really do mean that. That's a huge growth spurt for many, especially if your thing is you don't like to say sorry, right? So when people are like, well, how do I know that, this is a growth spurt for me? Oh, when it shows up and it knocks on your door and you're wanting to fight against it, your defense kicks in and you're like, why do I have to say sorry? Pause. Stop for a moment and say, whoa, wait a minute. She just talked about this on Tuesday night. She said that an opportunity for an apology may show up, and I should really think about it and think about how I would be in a state of growth if I did that. What about thank you? Right? So an invitation for gratitude, an invitation to recognize that something is in your presence that deserves your attention and deserves your gratitude is often an opportunity for growth. Now, people are like, well, I say thank you all the time. So every time I say thank you, well, you'll know. Sometimes it's small stuff that normally you wouldn't recognize. So maybe you're a person that's really into the big things and into getting to the next thing and into, well, what's on the list and what's the goal and where are we going and how are we going to get there? Whatever the case may be, and in a moment, an invitation comes to be thankful for something very small. Something that you would normally look over. Something that you would normally not pay attention to. That's an invitation for growth. Because what's happening is you're getting an invitation to see something as an asset, something as a blessing that has not been or has not showed up as such for you before. How about yes? Yes. Yes. So a lot of times we're in situations where we have our flow. We know where the sugar is. We know where the butter is. Hi, Michelle. We know where our car is supposed to be in the driveway. We know who our friends are. I mean, we have our list of our flow of how we do our lives. And then an invitation will pop up to say, you might want to say yes to this. It's different. It's embracing a level of change. It's embracing something new. But it's showing up as an invitation because it's a growth spurt. It's saying, hey, it's time for you to grow in this area. So before you jump to say no, because you're afraid it's going to change something, you may want to say yes and embrace the invitation, because in that invitation for growth, there's always something that's there for you to learn, right? How about the invitation to say no? So, for all of my people pleaser folks out there, you know what I'm talking about for real. Because when the invitation to say no comes along, usually what's happening is it is trying to position you to grow into a boundary, right? Been there, done that. It's trying to grow you into a position of saying, that's a boundary. You should not be entertaining a yes in this scenario. So we're giving you the option, an invitation to grow and say no. And then sit with it and realize that your no did not kill you and it didn't kill anybody else. It was a no. What did we say about no a couple of weeks back? We said it's not a rejection. It's just data. It's just information. So sometimes the invitation to embrace your growth is to say, no, that doesn't seem like a good fit for me. That's not something that I'm going to be able to do. That's not something that I'm going to be able to be involved in, or that I want to be involved in at this time. Or I have so much on my plate that if I were to say yes to that, I'd be cheating you and cheating me. I wouldn't be able to give it my all. So I'm going to have to say no. What about help? Let's talk about that. That's a good one. So oftentimes we get these invitations for, like I said, thank you, or I apologize, or yes or no, but sometimes the invitation is to ask for help. It's to be able to say in that moment, the greatest thing that I can do right now to grow, the greatest acceptance of an invitation for growth that I can have in this moment is to say to someone, I don't know how to do this. I really could use your help. I can't do this alone. I really could use your help. You know what? I'm really thinking about what you said, and it's making it clear that I may not have everything that I need to get this accomplished. Can you give me some help? Because here's the thing. We all know that we can't, oh, I'm glad you needed that, mish mish. We all know that we can't do this by ourselves. But sometimes we get stuck in this thought that asking for help means that we're weak, or it means that we didn't think about it clearly enough, or it means that we're going to bother somebody, or we're going to get rejected, when really it's just life giving you an opportunity to grow. And if you never ask anybody for help, you're dwarfed in that aspect. I mean, we don't ever want to say it that way, but the whole human experience is about being balanced and having balanced levels of maturity, right? So if you're the person that never, ever, 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 ever asks anybody for help, that's one of the areas that you're missing growth. So now it's time to, when that invitation comes, it's time to take it and accept it and say, I'm just going to ask for help on that. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, growth spurts are things that none of us can avoid. Oh, hello. That was an interruption. I'm sorry, Auntie Davina. Hello. So all of us have to be willing to embrace the growth that comes. Because here's the thing. Here's something I want you to embrace for the evening. So you've decided you don't want to grow. Okay. You are the king or queen of your universe. You don't have to grow. You're going to do what you want, and you're going to do it your way. And every time growth comes and invites you to participate, you are going to say, no, thank you. I don't want to engage in your party. So guess what that looks like? It looks like you being in a lot of suffering and in a lot of pain. Because if you're living and breathing, you have to grow. The only things that don't grow are things that are dead or never had life. They're inanimate objects. So you might as well connect with the fact that, you know what? Sometimes it comes in a package that's palatable, a package that I can say, ooh, I'm glad I embraced the invitation, and let's keep it moving. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. But even if your opportunity for growth comes like a tide, you guys, yes, like a tide, where you're in water and all is cool and all is well and your stuff is on the side of the beach and your sunglasses and everything are there and you're chilling and having a good time in the water, and a tide comes. Most of the time you drown or increase your capacity to drown if you are fighting, because the tide is a current, right? It's coming independent of whether you wanted it to come or not. But if you go with the tide, if you roll with the tide, if you stop fighting it, right, and you go with the current, yeah, I'll give you that. You might end up about a mile, half a mile further down the beach. But you will get out of that water, live to see another day, tell people about it, and learn from the experience. You don't want to be taken out in a growth spurt because you are so insistent on not growing that you derail or sabotage yourself. So, as the next 7 days comes about before we go into our next Facebook Live on Tuesday night, I want you to think about what I said. I want you to think about how some of these growth invitations are popping up at your doorstep? Is it for you to stop, stand still, and make a boundary and say no? Is it for you to pay attention to something and say, oh my God, I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for the weather today. Hi, Arlene. Is it for you to say, I apologize. Please forgive me. I realized that what I did was wrong. It was wrong. And realizing you've lost nothing. If anything, you've gained a couple of inches in your growth journey, right? Or really just saying help. I need some assistance. I need some partnership. I need somebody that can look out for me. Hey, I need somebody that can look out for me on this. Do you guys have any questions that you want me to answer in reference to this? Because this is a big deal, and I've tried to make it really, really simple, so when that invitation comes knocking on your door, you're not like, I had no idea that that was an opportunity for me to grow. You can't say that anymore, because when it pops up, even in the next 7 days, you're going to say, oh my gosh, Dr. Nicole said something about this. I need to just go on ahead and apologize, not be defensive, not feel like this is super personal, but realize this is just an opportunity for me, and I'm going to pass this test. I'm going to pass it, and I'm going to grow from it, and I'm going to be able to use that growth in the future with other stuff. Okay? All right, you guys, that's it for our Facebook Live tonight. Hopefully you had a good time. Hopefully you'll be able to listen to it again if you didn't catch us live. But you got to join us in our social media platforms. So Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Y'all know by now that I watch Queen Sugar on Wednesday nights. You know that I have an opinion about that. So though we will not be doing our live Facebook Live tomorrow, I will be, God willing, I will be watching Queen Sugar, and I will have something to say on Twitter. So if you have something that you want to say, or if you even want to retweet any of what I say, or if you want to engage in conversation, you'll know where to find me. I hope you guys are blessed and doing well. You know I love you to death. Bye, you guys. Have a great week, okay? God bless.